What if I told you that the fear you're running from is actually the key to your freedom? That the very thing holding you back could be the thing that propels you forward? Most people believe fear is a stop sign, but in reality, it's the compass pointing you toward growth, toward greatness. The moment you stop running from fear is the moment you begin to unlock the life you've always dreamed of. But here's the catch. Fear will never fully disappear. The secret is not to wait for it to go away, it's to step into it. Step into the fire, step into the discomfort, step into the unknown, because that's where your transformation begins. What would your life look like if fear had no say? Not just silenced for a moment. Not managed, controlled, or reasoned with, but completely gone. Erased. Imagine waking up each day without hesitation, without second guessing, without that inner voice saying you're not ready, not good enough, not capable. What choices would you make? What doors would you finally open? What dreams would you chase with unstoppable drive? Because here's the truth. Fear isn't the real problem. Giving in is. Fear is normal. It's built into us. It warns. It whispers. But it only wins if you listen. Each time you let it hold you back, each time you step away instead of stepping up, you give up progress for comfort. You choose safety over growth. You stop moving. You stay stuck. Not because you're weak, but because fear has convinced you that staying still means staying safe, but not today. Today we see fear for what it really is, a lie, a story, a shadow pretending to be something solid. And today, we leave it behind, not with hype, not with empty motivation, but with real action, with truth, with commitment, with a purpose stronger than any excuse. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how to stop running from fear and start facing it head on. You'll discover how to stand steady even when your hands shake, how to take action before the fear fades, and how to train your mind so clearly and consistently that fear has no room left to grow. So breathe in, step forward, don't look back, because today is the day you move past fear. Let's be clear, fear is not your enemy. It's instinct, it's ancient, it's hardwired into your system to protect you, and in many ways, it's kept you safe. But fear was never supposed to lead. It was never meant to guide your choices, your path, your future. Still, that's what happens. People let fear take control, and then they wonder why they feel lost, why nothing changes. You feel fear when you try something new, when you risk, when your comfort or control is tested. That's not failure. It's your brain doing what it's wired to do. But here's what most never realize. Fear doesn't deserve to lead. It's not fear itself that holds you back. It's inaction. Fear isn't the true enemy. It's the pause you take because of it. It's the opportunity you let go, the moment you stay quiet instead of speaking, the dream you delay for someday. Most people wait for fear to disappear before doing anything. They wait to feel confident, to feel brave or certain, but that feeling rarely shows up because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to act even when you're afraid. If you're waiting until you're ready, you could be waiting forever. The people who make real impact, who shift industries, make change, leave a mark, they feel fear too. They just move forward anyway. That's the difference, that's the advantage. You don't need to be without fear. You just need to stop treating fear like a command. Stop giving it power it never earned. Fear can be there, it can ride along, but it doesn't get to steer anymore. And here's the powerful part. The more you move through fear, the smaller it becomes. Every time you act despite it, you teach your brain that fear isn't a stop sign. It's a signal. It means something matters. It means step up. It means you're on the edge of something meaningful. Repeated action reshapes how your brain sees fear. And the more you face it directly, the less influence it has. You become someone fear can't stay with, because you've trained your mind to move before fear takes hold. So next time fear rises in you, remember this. You don't need to eliminate fear, you need to increase your movement. Don't analyze, don't overthink, don't negotiate, just act. Because fear loses strength when you create momentum. And the moment you take that first step, fear starts to fade. Fear tells stories, it always will. But you don't have to believe them. Lies so convincing, so emotionally strong, they feel like truth. But here's the hard truth. Fear is a liar. And its most harmful lies are the ones it tells about you. It whispers that you're not ready, not smart enough, not talented, enough, not worthy. It says if you try, you'll fail. If you speak, you'll be judged. If you follow your dream, you'll fall apart. And because fear sounds like your own thoughts, you believe it. You accept it as fact, not realizing it's just a story repeated so often it feels real. Not because it is, but because it's familiar. Fear lives in your imagination. It takes a single uncertain moment and turns it into a whole scenario. You don't just worry about a tough conversation. You imagine it going terribly wrong. You don't just hesitate to try something new. You picture failure. And not just failure, but public and permanent failure. You don't just fear rejection. You see embarrassment, isolation, and proof you were never enough to begin with. That's how fear takes over, not with facts, but through repetition. The more you mentally replay the worst-case outcome, the more your body treats it like reality. Your nervous system reacts. Your heart races. Your breathing shortens. Your muscles tighten. Suddenly, you're not reacting to the present. You're stuck in a future that hasn't even happened. And from that place, even the smallest step forward can feel out of reach. But here's the breakthrough. If fear is built through repetition, so is confidence. If fear is just a story, you can tell a better one where you speak up, and you've heard it before. There's the moment you leap and stick the landing, and the one where you fall but get back up anyway. Because the truth is, the brain can't really tell the difference between what you imagine and what you remember. If you can picture failure, you can just as easily picture success. If you can mentally prepare for setbacks, you can also prepare for achievement. This is the real battleground, not out there but within. And the moment you stop following fear's script and begin rewriting your own, you regain control. You don't need to feel brave to act brave. You don't need to be completely certain to take a step forward. You just need to stop handing fear the microphone. The voice in your mind is strong, but it doesn't always speak the truth. And one of the biggest lies it tells is that fear is the end of the road. It isn't. It's a signal, a sign that you're standing right where growth begins. And what happens next? That's your choice. Fear grows in silence, in avoidance, in the shadows. The more you try to escape it, the more space it takes up. The more you try to outthink it, the more persistent it becomes. Because fear doesn't lessen with time. It lessens with exposure. And this is where many people misstep. They wait to feel brave before they act. They wait for fear to go away before they move. But courage doesn't lead action. It follows it. Imagine standing at the edge of a cold pool. You could dip your toe in, walk away, return tomorrow, and overthink it all over again. You still feel the chill just thinking about it. Or you can dive in, shock your system, let your body adjust, and within seconds, the fear fades. Why? Because you've now faced what your mind had blown out of proportion. That's exposure. It's not about being fearless. It's about being willing. Willing to feel the fear and take the step anyway. Willing to face uncertainty and say, "You're not the end, you're the start." That's how fear loses its grip, not through avoidance, but through exposure. You lean into what scares you. You practice discomfort until it no longer feels foreign, and the more familiar it becomes, the less control it has. Speak up even when your voice is unsteady. Show up even when your hands are shaking. Launch the project even if it's not perfect. Ask the question even if the answer might sting. That's the process. That's where growth happens. Because repetition changes reality. The first time is scary. The second is uneasy. By the 10th time, it's normal. And by the 100th, it's freedom. The people you look up to, the speakers, leaders, artists, and fighters, they didn't start out confident. They started scared. The difference? They didn't stay there. They built up resilience. They didn't dodge the storm. They walked into it again and again until the thunder couldn't shake them anymore. The truth is, fear never disappears completely. But you stop reacting when it speaks. You stop shrinking when it shows up. Because you've faced it enough times to know. It's just noise. It's just a signal. And it doesn't get the final say. You do. The only path forward is through. Through. The trembling, through the setbacks, through the doubt. You walk straight into the storm, not because you're fearless, but because you've learned what's waiting on the other side of fear. The life you haven't yet lived holds immense potential, and that's a price worth paying. If you want to overcome fear, you need to address its source, your mind. Fear doesn't begin in the world around you. It starts in your thoughts, in the quiet, invisible stories you tell yourself. Stories about inadequacy, danger, and what might go wrong. These stories loop endlessly, shaping your reality without you even noticing. The truth is, if you don't train your thoughts, they will control you. Left unchecked, the mind becomes a battlefield where fear always wins. But you're not here to be ruled by fear. You're here to take back your mind, to reclaim the pen and rewrite your story. This process starts with one simple but powerful realization. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the architect, the programmer, the one who decides what stays and what goes. So when fear whispers that you're not ready, you don't just accept it. You question it. You ask, says who? When it tells you that you'll fail, you respond, maybe, but I'll learn. You flip the script, disrupt the pattern. Every thought is a seed, and what you water will grow. If you water fear, you'll harvest hesitation. But if you water courage, if you fill your mind with powerful, intentional, and disciplined thoughts, boldness becomes your default. This isn't about blind positivity. It's about intentional mental conditioning. Just as athletes train their bodies, warriors hone their reflexes, and musicians perfect their craft, you must train your mind with affirmations that declare your strength. Visualization is a powerful tool that focuses your eyes on the desired outcome. It creates a sense of familiarity with greatness. Tell yourself what you want to believe until it becomes who you are. Speak it, feel it, act on it daily. I am calm under pressure. I face fear and move forward anyway. I don't shrink. I expand. These are not just words. They are commands, and your subconscious is always listening. But don't just think these thoughts. Live them. Let your actions reflect this new identity. Your mind learns by watching you. So when you do something bold, when you move despite feeling nervous, when you speak up even with shaking hands, your brain registers, we do hard things now. That's how your identity changes. That's how fear loses its grip. You're not weak for feeling fear, but you remain weak if you let it lead. Discipline your inner world, and the outer world will follow suit. Guard your thoughts like treasures. Interrupt the lies, install the truth, and always remember, you have a choice. Fear may visit, but it doesn't have to stay unless you invite it in. Train your mind, or let fear train you. The choice is yours. What if fear wasn't a stop sign but a signal? What if the thing you're most afraid of is exactly what you need to do? Most people think fear means don't go there, don't try that, don't speak up, don't risk it. But in reality, fear is often a compass. It points directly to the edge of your comfort zone, and that's where growth starts. That fire in your chest, that trembling in your hands, it's not weakness. It's life reminding you that you're standing on the edge of something important. It's your spirit recognizing a moment of truth. The things that scare you most are often the things that will help you grow the most. Public speaking, launching a business, ending a toxic relationship, stepping into your purpose. These aren't dangers, they're doorways. The key to unlocking your potential is action. Not perfection, not certainty, just movement. One step forward, straight into what terrifies you. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep moving in its presence. So when fear shows up, don't shrink back, lean in. Move toward the fire, let it sharpen you. Let it burn away your excuses. Let it fuel your progress. That resistance you feel? It means you're getting closer to something real, closer to your calling, closer to the next level. And here's something most people won't tell you. Fear never fully disappears. Not for the brave, not for the successful, not for the legends. The fear is still there, but they've made peace with it. They've learned to walk alongside it and keep moving, even while shaking. That's what makes them fearless. Not that. They feel nothing, but that they refuse to let fear control them. So the next time fear appears, say thank you. Acknowledge it, but don't stop. Then take that step. Make the call. Hit publish. Say yes. Say no. Speak the words that scare you. The moment you lean into the fire, fear begins to fade, and what's left is freedom. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. You won't become fearless by waiting to feel brave. You don't conquer fear through feelings, you conquer it through discipline. Motivation comes and goes. It's a spark, quick, loud, exciting, but fleeting. Discipline, however, is the steady flame. It's the engine behind every fearless life. Because when you train yourself to act, not when you feel like it, but when it needs to be done, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you become untouchable. Courage isn't a sudden burst. It's a daily decision to show up. No matter what, show up to do the hard things. Lean into discomfort over and over, even when your mind screams for safety, especially then. This is what the greats understand. They don't wait for confidence to appear. They act, and confidence follows. They don't wait for fear to disappear. They do the thing anyway, and in the process, fear learns it has no place. Discipline silences fear because it removes the negotiation. There's no debate, no should I or shouldn't I. It's already decided. The alarm rings and you rise. The task is difficult, but you do it anyway. The voice of doubt whispers, but you walk forward despite it. That's discipline. That's how the fearless are made. The more you act in the presence of fear, the more you rewire your mind. You teach it that fear isn't danger, it's just data, and data doesn't control you, it informs you. So ask yourself, are you living by feelings or by principle? If fear is still calling the shots, it's time to change. Build rituals that strengthen your mind. Surround yourself with reminders of your vision. Keep your commitments to yourself. One small act of courage each day, and you'll wake up one day wondering why you ever let fear take the lead. Discipline makes you consistent, and consistency makes you inevitable. Imagine this. You're lying on your deathbed, moments from the end. Around you are not just memories, but the ghosts of every dream you didn't pursue, every risk you didn't take, every version of yourself that could have been. And they ask you, why did you let fear decide for you? You see, fear doesn't just steal your moments, it steals your legacy. It convinces you to shrink, to play it safe, to sit down when you were meant to stand tall. But what if you knew the cost? If you could see the future that fear is quietly robbing from you, you'd understand something most people don't realize. They are choosing fear. They think they're choosing comfort, safety, or familiarity, but in reality, they are burying their greatness under excuses. They trade impact for ease and legacy for security. Let me be clear, no one remembers the person who stayed silent, and no one builds statues for the one who avoided failure. The world is shaped by those who were scared but moved anyway, those who stood up, spoke out, and stepped forward despite the trembling in their voice or the knot in their stomach. Fear will always offer comfort, but legacy demands discomfort. It demands pain, sacrifice, and risk. It demands you decide what matters more, the opinions of others, or the opinion you'll have of yourself when your time is up. So ask yourself, what will your life say when it's over? Will it whisper of missed chances and silent regrets, or will it roar with the sound of someone who chose purpose over paralysis, action over avoidance, and courage over comfort? You don't need to know every step, you just need to refuse to let fear have the final word. Your legacy is being written either way, and only one version ends with you free. If fear is a liar, then your routine is the truth teller. It's not just mindset that slays fear, it's movement. It's not about one big heroic act. It's about the daily habits that turn courage into your natural state. The fearless aren't born brave, they're forged through discipline. Every day they perform small rituals that suffocate fear before it has a chance to speak. Start here. Each morning, do something uncomfortable. Not huge or reckless, just something that makes your heart beat a little faster, like a cold shower, an honest conversation, or a hard phone call. Why? Because your nervous system must be trained. When you teach your body to survive discomfort, fear begins to lose its grip. Second, move physically, whether it's lifting, running, or walking. Motion kills stagnation, and stagnation is fear's playground. When you move your body, your brain follows. Confidence builds, clarity returns, energy rises, and fear has no room in a body that's in motion. Third, speak power into your mind. Affirmation isn't corny. It's a strategy for war. The thoughts you rehearse become the beliefs you carry. Every morning, stand tall and say, "I am not afraid. I am not here to shrink. I am here to lead." Say it until you believe it, and then act in a way that makes it true. Fourth, win the first battle. Make your bed, show up on time, finish the tasks you don't want to. When you start your day with a win, fear loses a piece of its power. When you stack those wins, you build momentum, and momentum is what makes the impossible feel inevitable. Lastly, reflect each night. Ask yourself, where fear whispered today and where you pushed back. This is how you refine yourself. This is how you get sharper. You become unshakable, not by avoiding fear, but by facing it again and again until it breaks before you do. The fearless life is not an accident. It is crafted with intention, repetition, and ruthless self-respect. If you want to kill fear, don't wait to feel brave. Train it, build it, practice it, one bold action at a time. Today, we don't just talk about fear, we lay it to rest. The truth is, fear dies when you stop feeding it, when you stop bowing to it, and when you realize it has no real authority, only the power you've given it. From this moment on, you take that power back. No more waiting, no more hesitation, no more shrinking to fit the comfort of others or the lies of your past. You were not born to live small. You were not designed to tiptoe through life avoiding danger. You were built to walk through fire and come out forged. So, this is the moment. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. You bury the fear, you silence the doubt, and you take the first step and then another until you no longer remember what it felt like to be ruled by hesitation. When fear shows its face again, as it always will, you will smile, because now you know its game. You've studied it, outlasted it, and trained your mind and body to walk forward anyway. Fear doesn't get a vote in your future anymore. Only your vision does. Only your mission does. So, stand up, straighten your spine, and look fear in the face one last time. Say, thank you for the lessons, for the growth, for the clarity, and then say goodbye, because you're done letting fear decide who you get to be. This is your time now. You are fearless because you chose to be, but this is only the beginning. In the next chapter, we will go deeper into how to build unshakable confidence, not in theory, but in daily action. You've slain the fear. Now it's time to build the warrior. So, subscribe now because fear may be behind you, but your future is just getting started. Your other self, the one who never hesitates, never retreats, is waiting.